Oi, gente! Tudo bom? Hello, everyone! Welcome to this class. I'm very happy to be here with you today. Let me see who is here. I see Inácio, tudo bom? Mônica, Herschel, Shael, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Zindi, Mark, Margus. Muito bom, Roger, Jocelyn, Peter, Todd. Que bom ver todos vocês. It is so good to see all of you today. Today we're going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is how to use reductions and linking to sound more natural when speaking Portuguese. So we're going to talk a lot about that today. Let me know if you guys can see me and hear me well. Tudo bom, Alan? Novo Destino, Carla, Álvares, Gracia, Scott, Andrew, Ruth. Muito bom, so good to see you here, guys. Jason. Okay, so I have Aline, she's in the comments, Aline Miller. She works with me and she'll help me answer your questions, so you can talk with her in the chat if you have any questions about my course. She's not a teacher, but she's Brazilian, so she can also help you with your Portuguese, okay? Okay, so this class is part of the 30-day challenge. If you have not joined the challenge, you can still join it, but you don't have to do the challenge to watch this class, okay? It's just an extra class to help you complete the challenge and also to help you improve your Portuguese. I'm going to show you where you can sign up for the challenge, and also I prepared a material for this class and you can download this material for free from the website. Okay, you just have to sign up for the challenge so you can find the material for download, and also you can watch a replay of this class. If you missed this class, or if you decide to watch it later, you also find a replay of this class on the courses page. I'm going to show you where you find it. Muito bom. Oi, Eva. Tudo bom? Michael, Janine. Okay, guys, I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay, so this is the page where you can sign up for the challenge. Just go to the website speakingbrazilian.com/desafio. Desafio means challenge. And you just click join the challenge. It is completely free. You just have to add your email and password. If you already have an account in my school, it's easy. You just click here and you can use the same email and password. And once you are on the challenges page, you find all the assignments for the challenges, and also you find a replay of this class. Here you see we had 3 classes. This is the 3rd and last class. So you just click here and you find a replay of the class and also the material that I prepared for today's class. Okay, just scroll down and you find a place to click and download the material. Okay, guys, so this is about the material, and before we start the class, I want to remind you that my next courses start in September, and today is the last day of enrollment. So if you have been waiting, if you want to join one of my courses, don't miss the enrollment date. Okay, so today, by the end of the day, so midnight UTC or 8 p.m. New York time, I'll close the enrollments because I need time to organize the students and organize the groups. That's why I have to close the enrollment. So you can sign up by the end of the day or just after the class. If you've been thinking about signing up, I recommend you do that right after the class. These are the courses that I offer. If you have questions about the courses, feel free to ask Aline in the chat or just email her. She'll help you with your questions. So just quickly, the courses that I offer, 4 main courses. The first one is the Essential Course for Beginners. It's a very complete beginner's course. It will teach you everything you need to learn to start speaking Portuguese. The second course that I offer is the Pre-Intermediate workshop, which is a continuation, is also beginner level, but it's upper beginner level. There's much more Portuguese and conversation practice in class. The third course that I offer is the grammar and conversation. This is an intermediate level course. It's intermediate level grammar. And it is the only course that I offer that focus on grammar. The other courses, they focus on all the 4 skills and conversation. This is more focused on grammar, but you also practice conversation in class, and it's 100% in Portuguese, so it's a very intensive course. And the last one, the 4th one, is the Speaking Brazilian Academy, which is a course for intermediate level students, and this course focuses on conversation. Okay, so we don't study much grammar in class. Of course, we review grammar once in a while, but the focus of the Speaking Brazilian Academy is just practice conversation. It is only recommended for intermediate and advanced level students. Okay, if you are a beginner, you should join one of these 2 first courses. Okay, you learn everything you need to know about the courses on this page. Just go to my website, speakingbrazilian.com/courses, and then you click here. You find all the information you need to know about each one of the courses. There's the curriculum, the prices, everything. I offer a payment plan if you cannot pay everything up front, and I also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not sure, I'm not sure I'm gonna like it, if you're not sure if online courses are for you, I recommend you try it, because you can try for a couple of weeks, and if you change your mind, you can just ask for a refund. Okay, it's guaranteed 30 days from the day of purchase. If you have questions, I'll have some time to answer your questions by the end of the class. At the end of the class, now I want to start our class. Let me just go back here. Okay, I saw someone asking about when did the challenge start. So you can take the challenge whenever you want. I started the challenge to do like as a group at the beginning of this month. I think it was August 3rd. You find all the assignments on the website, and also if you like to use Instagram, I've been posting 1 challenge a day on Instagram. You find all the videos and assignments also on my Instagram account. It's Virginia at Virginia_Langhammer. But you don't, if you missed the challenge so far, you can just start from the beginning. Okay, you don't have to follow exactly the group. Each person can take the challenge whenever you want. Okay, you just follow you find all the assignments and all the information you need on the website. Muito bom, excelente, gente. Just checking if you have any questions before we start the class. So Daniela is asking, I have studied Portuguese before, but I'm not sure what my level is. Do you offer an exam? Yes, I created a placement test. It is not a test for other schools. It's very specific for my school. And in this placement test, I ask you a few questions, and based on your questions, I recommend a course. So go to my website, and maybe Aline can also give you the link for the placement test. And just click on the placement test. It's super easy. It's simple. It's a very simple test. And I recommend you be very honest with your answers, so the test will recommend the best course for you. Another thing that we should know is that if you sign up for a course and you change your mind, you think, oh, this course is too difficult or this course is too easy, you can just request to switch to a different course. So don't worry if you're not sure about your level. You can join the course that you think, okay, this course sounds like the best one for me, but if you realize that it's not your level, just get in contact with us, email us, and we can just switch you to another course or send you a refund if you decide to stop. Okay, very good questions, guys. So there's another question here from Charles. Charles, tem uma pergunta. Sign up for the pre-intermediate on Wednesday. Will the bonus program you mentioned in your last live be included? The bonus was valid until Wednesday, so if you signed up by Wednesday, yes. So you got the bonus. The bonus after Wednesday, it was a special bonus for those who signed up early. So I don't know about you, Charles. I'll have to check to take a look at your sign-up date. Okay, if you have questions about that, you feel free to email Aline. But everyone that signed up by Wednesday received the bonus. Okay, muito bom, gente. Very good questions. I'll have some time to also answer your questions at the end of the class. I think now we could start our class. Oi, Laura, tudo bom? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you again. Now let's get started. So just one last thing, many people also ask, oh, why are you speaking English and not Portuguese? I know, I wish it's easier for me to speak Portuguese, guys. I'm Brazilian. I'm speaking English because there are a lot of beginners watching this class and I want everyone to understand me. So that's why I speak English. And this class is recommended for all levels because the idea is to teach you details of the language that will be useful for intermediate level students and also beginner students. That's why I'm teaching the class in English. If you want to listen to Portuguese, I have almost 200 videos, 100% in Portuguese, available on my YouTube channel. And also in all my courses, you will speak a lot of Portuguese, okay? All my courses are in Portuguese. The teachers use a little bit of English in the beginner's course, and then after that, it's all the classes are in Portuguese. So don't worry, if you sign up for any course, you will listen to Portuguese and you will speak a lot of Portuguese in class, ok? Ok, então vamos lá. Vou compartilhar minha tela com vocês. Then I'll have more time to answer more questions soon. Okay, guys? So if you have questions, write it down. And then when I say, okay, now I'm going to answer your questions, remember you can copy and paste, or you can type your question again. Tá bem? Muito bom, vamos lá. Let's talk about reduction and linking. So today I want to continue what we started last week. If you missed our last class, you can still watch a replay, sign up for the challenge, and you'll find a replay of this class on the website, okay? And I want to continue. I don't want to simply change the subject. I want to continue the class, the exercise that we started last week, and add more information to it, okay? Então vamos lá. So last week we were talking about, I just remember that I forgot to say something. It is so many announcements, guys, that I forget, and if I don't read, I just forget. So one last thing is that by the end of this class, I'm gonna give away one pronunciation coaching class with one of the teachers, but to participate in the giveaway, you have to stay until the end of the class. So don't go anywhere, stay here, and at the end of the class, we have this giveaway, okay? So stay here. So let's continue. So last class, just a quick review of the content that we covered last class. So we talked about how to practice speaking and imitation by yourself, because of course the idea is to practice with someone else, with a native speaker, but that's not always possible. So we talked a lot about how to practice by yourself, and I gave you a lot of tips. So just to review, just a recap, I recommend that you use this challenge to practice speaking by yourself. So read the question, study how to answer the question, write down your question, read your question out loud. It is important to read out loud. And the second technique that I really recommend that you do is to practice imitation, which means to listen to a Brazilian speaking and imitate out loud. To imitate, it is important to repeat, to try to imitate the rhythm, the pronunciation, and also the movement of the lips, okay? You can do that with my videos or any other Brazilians that you follow on YouTube or social media or podcasts, whatever you choose. Remember to imitate and do this out loud. You have to practice out loud to get used to these phonemes, okay? I promise that if you do these exercises, you'll feel much more confident to speak Portuguese with a native speaker when you have the chance. Okay, now so this is just a recap. If you want to listen, learn more about this, watch the replay of the last class. Today we're going to focus a little bit more on reduction and linking. What is this? So let's first, before we dive in, let's first see what is this? What does it mean? So reduction, it means it's a reduction of a word. So we have the word, and when we speak naturally, it is very, very common to suppress, to reduce certain parts of the word. Sometimes it's just one vowel, sometimes it's an entire syllable disappears when we speak naturally. This happens in all the languages that I know. There's a lot of that in English, there's a lot of that in French. and also in Portuguese. But this is something that happens naturally. We don't do this on purpose. So if you ask a Brazilian and ask them, oh, do you do this? How do you pronounce this word? And if we pronounce just one word outside a sentence, it's just one word, we probably will pronounce that word completely, right? But when we are speaking naturally, having a conversation, that's not how we pronounce words. We don't pronounce words clearly and completely. There are a lot of reductions happening, a lot of linking happening, but we don't think about it. So it is important for you to observe, right? So pay attention, listen to how people speak, and you'll notice that a lot of syllables and vowels are missing. They just disappear when we speak naturally. So this is called reductions, right? So the words, they got smaller. And another thing that also happens a lot is to connect words in a sentence. So same thing, if you say one word separately, it is very clear. But when you say a sentence, naturally, we made a lot of connections and a lot of words disappear also in this process. So this is one of the reasons why it is so hard to understand Brazilians speaking naturally, because you are expecting to hear complete words, the words that you learned, but then when we speak naturally, that doesn't happen. We say blah, 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 and then, well, what was that? So studying and understanding this process, the reduction and linking, will help you to understand Brazilians better. Of course, it requires a lot of practice, but it will help you to understand better, and also it will help you to sound more natural when you are speaking Portuguese, okay? I'm going to give a lot of examples in this class, and then we're going to practice a little bit together, and I'll try to help you with that. And if you have any questions about this, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Muito bom. So let's start talking about common reductions. There are so many. I just prepared this lesson this morning, so I just wrote down the reductions that came to my mind. If you remember any other reductions that that I'm not mentioning in this lesson, feel free to write it down. I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I'd love to hear other reductions that you notice when listening to Brazilians speaking. So these are very, very common ones. For instance, the word você. We never pronounce the word você like this. Of course, one other thing, very important thing that you have to have in mind when speaking and studying Portuguese is that we have many variations of pronunciations of the language, because Brazil is big, many different accents, many different influences from immigrants and indigenous languages and African languages and Italian and German and everything else. So there are a lot of variations. But I believe that this list that I made for you, a lot of people pronounce like this when speaking naturally, okay? So the word você is very commonly reduced to você or se. Actually, se is more common, in my opinion. So when you say a sentence, we don't say você. If I say just the word, I'm going to say você. But if I say a sentence, many times, not always, but many times, I'm just going to say se. And the verb estar, in all the conjugations of the verb estar, it is very, very common to drop the first two letters, the es. Most of the time it's dropped. They are at the end, depending on the accent, it is not pronounced as well. So you could say está or tá. The conjugation for eu estou, you could say estou or tô. And this is the most common one, está, you could say está or tá. These reductions are so common. Really, pay attention. Have you noticed that? Let me know in the comments. And also the plural, estamos, estamos. And estão, estão. These reductions, the verb estar and the word você, are the most common ones. But we also do that a lot when we have two vowels together. One vowel is strong and the second vowel is weak. It is very common to do, when you pronounce, you cannot hear the second vowel as the word sou. Eu sou, I am. We usually pronounce just so, because we speak fast, right? So you cannot hear the second vowel. Vou, we pronounce vou. eu vou, like I go. The word que, it is usually, sometimes it is pronounced really clearly, but when we use this word just to connect two sentences, for instance, we usually pronounce just k. Like, que bom que você veio. Que bom que você veio. So this is very, I'm going to write this sentence here, just had this, it came to my mind. Que bom. So the first one is stressed. Que você veio. So you see two reductions here. Que bom que você veio. I'm glad you came. Que bom que você veio. So the first one is que bom. It's also a little bit reduced. Que você veio. You see, this is how we speak naturally. Nobody will say, que bom que você veio. No, it sounds like a robotic, right? And then the word onde, this is the most common pronunciation, onde, but when you speak in a sentence, it's much more common to say onde. We stop in the middle. So this is a sentence that I really like to give it as an example because it is a very, very common question, like, where are you? Onde você está? How do we pronounce this question? Onde você tá? Onde você tá? Onde você tá? So this, it could be like a regional variation, but this is how I pronounce when I'm speaking naturally with friends and family. Onde você tá? Onde você tá? So a lot of reductions here. Now you can see, when you see me pronouncing this, you can imagine, okay, that's why it's so hard to understand Brazilians when they're speaking among each other, right? I want to see some of the comments now, guys. Okay. So yeah, so sometimes the word que can be pronounced as que, exactly. Por exemplo, porque, in the question, por que, why, por que você estuda português? Why do you study Portuguese? So in this phrase, porque, the que is clearly pronounced. So the reduction of the word que, it only happens when it's just when it's not a very important word. So this is something interesting we do. I'm talking about these reductions, guys, but please remember that you should not pronounce always like this. I'm just saying that this happens sometimes, many times. But there are many other ways that you can pronounce these words. And if you want to give emphasis to a word, it should not be reduced, right? So it really depends on the context, what is the message that you want to convey. So the word que can be reduced or not. It really depends on the context. It is commonly reduced when it is used as a conjunction to connect two sentences. Because then in this context, it's not an important word. It is really fast pronounced, so it is reduced. But many times it is pronounced clearly as que. So it really depends on the context. Onde você tá means where are you? Where are you? Onde você tá? Muito bom. So I see Laura is asking a question about subscription. Laura, you should not worry about anything because you are a member in the academy and you don't have to do anything. The membership renews automatically, so don't worry about that. Unless you want to sign up for something else. But I believe you did all the courses already, so you don't have to do anything. Muito bom. So Carrie is asking a question about the reduction of the word saudades. So this is interesting because this, Carrie, we are talking about written text. So this is a common way to write the word saudade when you are typing a text. So this is correct. Today I'm not talking about reductions of typing. I'm only talking about speaking reductions. Okay, so everything that I'm showing here, you should not write this way. I don't recommend you write this way. They are just reduction. They are just like, I'm just talking about how we pronounce words. Okay, just speaking reductions. But there are a lot. We do a lot of reductions in writing as well. But that's a totally different topic, and it is different from the way that I'm writing here. Okay, very good comment, Carrie. What other reductions have you guys seen? Let me know in the comments. Muito bom. So Sabrina's mina de menina. Yeah, this is very common as well. Essa mina, yeah. Actually, mina, I see that more like as a slang word than a reduction, but it is like a reduction of the word menina, right? It sounds like a reduction. Very good. This is a very good one, Tomek. O que você tá fazendo? So the complete would be o que você está fazendo. But this is very common, a very common way of pronouncing this. O que está fazendo? And you see that you drop the letter D. This is common as well, depending on the accent. Very good example. Let me know, guys, if you remember any other reductions that you heard Brazilians using. Muito bom. So depois and após, this is not a reduction. These are two words that can be used and they have the same meaning. Depois, I think depois is more common and após sounds a little bit more formal. They both mean like after. Muito bom. Oh, this is a very good one. Entendi. Yes, this is a very common reduction. Instead of saying entendi, we say entendi. Like, I got it. I understood. Very good. Excellent, guys. Excelente. I love that, Jason. Como é que você tá? Yeah, como é que você tá means como é que você está. Like, how are you? Like, right? It's a variation of the question. Como você está? You could say como é que você está. Excelente. Very good, guys. I love your comments. Let's continue so we have time to cover more content in the class, and then I'm going to read more of your comments, okay? So let's see more details of reductions. One thing that happens a lot in Brazilian Portuguese is to reduce the vowels when the syllable is not strong. So if it is a stressed syllable, that vowel is not reduced. That vowel is pronounced clearly. But in less, like in unstressed, not stressed syllables, the vowel many times is reduced. Sometimes it's reduced to something very weak, or sometimes it disappears. So it really depends. Então, por exemplo, the word ele. When we speak naturally, the second E, we usually don't hear it, or it is very, very weak. It's a very, very weak E sound. We don't pronounce ele, it's ele, ele. You see, it's very weak. Outro. Same thing happens with the letter O at the end. At the end of syllables, or when it's important that it's not a stressed syllable, okay? Outro. So the stressed syllable is the first one, and then the other vowels, they are very weak. You can barely hear it. They're very, very weak. They are there somewhere, but you cannot hear them well. Outro. Outro. You see that I don't even pronounce the U at the end. I just pronounce the consonants. Outro. Outro. Gente. Same thing with the letter E here. I pronounce the T, but I don't pronounce the E at the end. It's gente. Gente. As always, this varies based on accents and variations, okay? So I'm going to give you examples in sentences. Like the sentence, eu como chocolate. But let me say this more naturally. Eu como chocolate. Eu como chocolate. Eu como chocolate. So you see that these syllables these letters that I underline, they are strong. The other vowels, they are very, very weak. They are not pronounced strongly at all. You can barely hear them. And the last E here, it disappears. Chocolate. Chocolate. The second one, eu bebo água. Eu bebo água. Então, eu bebo água. So the second vowel, the last vowel, is very, very weak. It's not exactly a reduction. It doesn't completely disappear, but it almost disappears. It's very, very weak. That makes all the difference when you're speaking, guys. If you speak like this, if you make this, if you give more attention to the stressed vowels and pronounce the less stressed vowels in a more weak way, you sound much more Brazilian. And if you know that, you can understand Brazilians better. Okay, so this is about reduction. Of course, there are many, many other words that are reduced in Brazilian Portuguese. Let's talk now about linking words in a sentence. It's similar because linking sometimes includes reducing words, letters as well. But when I say linking, I mean to connect words in a sentence. So the way that you pronounce one word alone is very different from the way that you pronounce a sentence, right? Então, por exemplo, todo o mundo. Todo mundo means everybody, everyone. It literally means the entire world, but we usually use this phrase to say everybody, everyone, okay? Todo mundo. How do you pronounce naturally? Todo mundo. So we connect, when the vowels are similar, we drop one of the vowels and we connect the words. It sounds like one word, todo mundo. I don't pronounce the two O's. I pronounce just one time, and it doesn't sound like an O, it sounds like U. Todo mundo. Todo mundo. And the last O is very weak as well. Todo mundo. I recommend that you pronounce, do an imitation exercise with me during this class. We did a lot that in the last class, and I recommend you do as well, because you need to speak out loud to practice this and to get used to these phonemes, okay? So repeat after me. Todo mundo. Todo mundo. Todo mundo. So second example of how to connect similar vowels. So we have here the phrase, sentence. Gosto de ir à praia. How we pronounce this naturally? Gosto de ir à praia. We have two linking here. So the preposition de connects with the verb ir. We don't say de ir. It's dir. Dir. This word does not exist, guys. I'm just saying how we pronounce it, okay? And then we connect the verb ir with the preposition a, because we have a consonant R, the consonant R, when it connects with a vowel and the next word is a vowel, it starts with a vowel, we have to connect it. Irá. Gosto de ir à praia. Gosto de ir à praia. Gosto de ir à praia. So we have two linking here. You see, I wrote this how I pronounce it. You should not write like this. It's just like I'm just writing how I pronounce it so you can see it and pronounce with me. I'll say, repeat after me. Gosto de ir à praia. Gosto de ir à praia. The pronunciation of the R here varies a lot based on the accent, okay? So let's talk about now how to connect sentence words. When one sentence, one word ends with the letter S, and the next one starts with a vowel. So, for example, the phrase casas amarelas. How I pronounce this naturally? Casas amarelas. Casas amarelas. So the S connects with the vowel A, and as you know, if you took my free course in pronunciation, you know that the S between two vowels is pronounced as a Z. Z as in zebra. So zebra. So you should say casas amarelas. So it's a Z sound. If you say just the word casas, it's casas. Casas amarelas. But when we connect, we say casas amarelas. Casas amarelas. Okay? Another example. How do you say todos os dias? Every day. Todos os dias. So I connect these two first words. Todos os dias. Todos os dias. Todos os dias. This linking, guys, will make you sound much more natural when speaking Portuguese. Okay, repeat after me. Todos os dias. Todos os dias. And one more example with consonant plus vowel. When one word ends with the R and the next word starts with a vowel, we also connect. Por exemplo, vou comprar carro. I'm going to buy a car. Vou comprar carro. Vou comprar comprar connects. You have to, the R here will connect with the U. Comprar carro. And I also made a different reduction here, you see? One more example. Eu moro em Nova York. So here, this is a funny one, guys. This connection between the word moro and the preposition em. Because the preposition em here is weak. It's not a very important word. We pronounce it really fast. So the E is reduced, like the letter, the phoneme E is reduced to E. And then the letter O here is very weak because it's not a stressed syllable. So it disappears, and we connect these two words and we say, eu moro em Nova York. So pay attention, it's not like morim, okay? There is no emphasis in this word. It is really fast. But when I speak naturally, I speak fast. This is how I pronounce this sentence. Eu moro em Nova York. Eu moro em Nova York. Eu moro em Nova York. Eu moro em São Paulo. Eu moro em Boston. You see, I always do this connection, this linking. I hope this was clear for you. So again, don't write like this. I only wrote these crazy words here just to show you the connections, okay? This is not how you should write it. Okay, guys, what other, do you have any questions about reduction, linking, any other examples that it came to your mind that you would like to tell me, or something that you don't know how to pronounce and you'd like me to pronounce for you? Let me know in the comments. So Shanna's asking me to do a video about text. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Shanna. That would be fun. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely make a video about that. All the reductions in texting, right? That is so common. Brazilians use that a lot. Question about Juan. Does this work with the name João, where it's like Juan? Avoid this. Oh, okay. I think we say João. João. I don't think there's a reduction in this word as far as I know. João. I don't think your name would be hard for Brazilians to pronounce. You just have to, yeah, Juan. Because we, at least like in the south of Brazil, we are very used to Argentinian names. We have, because of our neighbors from Argentina. So I don't see your name as a difficult one to pronounce in Brazil. But if we just read it, would probably say João. So João. So that's how we pronounce that name. Muito bom. Vamos. Yes, I think we have a reduction version of vamos, which is vamos without the S. Vamos lá instead of vamos lá. It is very common to say vamos lá. We drop the S. It's a very common reduction, informal language. Muito bom. Are there pronunciation differences between south and north? A lot. A lot. I'll have to spend hours talking about it. We have so many, even like in the same city, we have variations of pronunciation in Brazil, in the same state. So can you imagine from south to north? Sometimes it sounds like two different languages. It's crazy. We have a lot of different accents in Brazil. You know, I was born in the Northeast and I moved to the South when I was 10. When I got there, I had a hard time understanding people speaking. It was funny. Pode pronunciar onde in a sentence. I think I gave you one example here with the word onde, like onde você tá, right? Onde você tá? Onde você tá? Muito bom. Reading more comments, guys. If you have any questions about this topic, let me know. Yes, so this, I think you're answering someone, right, Eva? So that you are correct. So when you say ir à praia, we need to use this weird accent. It is called a grave accent because we have two vowels, one vowel and one preposition. Ir à praia. You could also say para a praia. Some informal language people say na praia, although the most correct one is a praia with this accent. Very good. Excelente, gente. I'm glad you find this lesson useful, Andrew. I hope you guys can understand Brazilian so you don't have to use, but you always be prepared to ask people to falar mais devagar. Trying to understand this question here. Oh, so David, this is I think you're asking about one very formal conjugation. We don't do that. We don't use this form in Brazil, like I would say at all, maybe in very formal texts. I wouldn't worry about that, the desinência is like separated from the verb. We don't use that in spoken language like at all, and sometimes only in very, very formal texts. So I wouldn't worry about that. Okay, so here I think a very common reduction would be to drop the first O. Que é que você quer? Que é que você quer? Like, what do you want? This is already a very informal way of saying this. Que é que você quer? So the que é que, the two keys, they are very reduced. It's like que é que você quer? What do you want? Tamo junto. So this is funny. Tamo is from the verb estar. Remember that I mentioned the verb estar? Nós estamos. Instead of saying nós estamos, we say tamos. And also, you could also drop the S at the end. Tamo junto. This is very informal, okay? So be careful with that. But it's common to use this variation with friends. Muito bom, gente. Let's continue the lesson so we have time to cover a little bit. So this is the topic that I want to talk to you about, linking and reduction. Now we still have some minutes. I want to practice a little bit with you some questions from the challenge. We won't have time to practice everything. Of course, we have like 15 minutes left. But I encourage you to download this PDF and study. You find the questions and also examples of my answer to each question so you can read and practice by yourself, okay? So let's practice these questions. And I want you to answer each question in the comments. And I'm going to read some answers out loud so you can repeat after me and practice and improve your Portuguese and practice pronunciation, tá bem? Então vamos lá. So, pergunta: quantas vezes por semana você estuda português? Quantas vezes por semana você estuda português? So you see, I did a reduction here. The por is very fast. It's per. Quantas vezes por semana? Por. It's very quick and fast. Quantas vezes por semana você estuda português? And here I could also reduce the word você to se. How would you answer this question in Portuguese? Let me know in the comments, guys. I'm going to read my answer to you so you have some examples. Eu estudo português todos os dias. Eu estudo português uma vez por semana. Eu estudo português 2 vezes por semana. So you see that I made a connection here. Eu estudo português uma vez. Português uma vez por semana. Eu estudo português uma vez por semana. You have to make this connection here, okay? I'm going to read some of the comments. Eu estudo português todos os dias. Tento estar em contato com a língua todos os dias por pelo menos 30 minutos. Muito bom. I'm trying to read this in a natural way so you guys can listen to me and practice and repeat after me, okay? Nós estudamos português muitas vezes por semana. Muito bom. Estudo todos os dias. Muito bom. That was good, David. Com o desafio, estudo todos os dias. Excelente. Estudo português 2 vezes por semana. Muito bom. Eu estudo português todas as noites antes de dormir. Excelente. So here you see I connected 2 times. Todas as noites. So here remember to use the feminine word todas. Todas as noites antes de dormir. 2 times. Todas as noites antes de dormir. I'm exaggerating, of course, so more naturally now. Eu estudo português todas as noites antes de dormir. Muito bom, eu estudo todos os dias, excelente. Estudo português uma vez por semana. Olá, tudo bom? Prazer tê-la, não sei pronunciar seu nome. Todos os dias, tá certo, todos os dias. Of course, I'm exaggerating. It should be like todos os dias, todos os dias. Yes, that's what we call en français liaison. C'est la liaison. Em português, we call it ligação de palavras. Ligação ou conexão. Estudo português 2 vezes por semana, excelente. Estudo português às segundas e sextas, excelente. Excelente, gente. Okay, let's move on to the next question so we have time to practice a little bit more and then I'll go back to your comments, okay? Então vamos lá. If you have questions about reductions, linking, feel free to ask questions, okay? Então, próxima pergunta. I'm gonna drop this one because it's similar. I asked these 2 questions because in the first one, I want you to use this structure uma vez por semana, 2 vezes por semana. And the second question, I want you to use this structure, right? Às segundas e quartas, aos fins de semana. But let's move on to the next question, which is different. Você conhece o Brasil? Quais cidades você conhece? So I'm gonna now pronounce with a reduced você. Você conhece o Brasil? This is the most natural way of pronouncing this word. Você conhece o Brasil? Quais cidades você conhece? Você conhece o Brasil? Quais cidades você conhece? So how would you answer this question in Portuguese? Let me know in the comments. And before you ask, why am I using the verb conhecer here? So this is interesting because the way we ask this question, the way that we use this verb in Portuguese is very different from English. Okay, so conhecer means to know or to meet, depending on the case. But we do use this verb very commonly to ask if you have been to a place, like ever. Have you ever been to this place? Instead of using the verb estar, which would be the literal translation from English to Portuguese, instead we use verb conhecer. So in this case, if you translate word by word, it would not make any sense in English, okay? It would be, do you know Brazil? But we don't speak like that in English, right? Instead, we say, have you been to Brazil? But in Portuguese, we use verb conhecer. So when you're learning a language, it's important to have your open mind to understand that you not always be able to translate word by word. You just have to understand the meaning of the word and that's it, okay? So, você conhece o Brasil? Quais cidades você conhece? This is my answer. Eu conheço muitas cidades no Brasil. Minhas cidades favoritas são Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo e Minas Gerais. So, I'm gonna read some of your answers. Conheço Manaus muito bem, excelente. Não conheço o Brasil ainda, excelente. Conheço Paraty, Ilha Grande, Ouro Preto. Adoro todos estes lugares. Muito bom. So here, you don't need the os. Todos estes. You drop the os, ok? Todos estes lugares. Muito bom. Sim, eu fui para Mossoró, no Rio Grande do Norte. Muitas praias bonitas. Que legal, Jonathan. Azê, bem-vindo. Roger, o primeiro lugar que conheci no Brasil foi Foz do Iguaçu. Que legal, muito bom. I don't know what is going on. There's a noise coming from outside. I hope it's not bothering you guys. Não conheço o Brasil, mas quero muito visitar Rio de Janeiro e São Paulo um dia. Muito bom. Não conheço o Brasil ainda. So here if you want to say I haven't been to Brazil yet, you should say ainda. Não conheço o Brasil ainda, mas em novembro eu vou. Que legal! Excelente! So you see the connection that I made here? Mas em novembro eu vou. Very fast, ok? Mas em novembro eu vou. Mas em novembro eu vou. Mas em novembro eu vou. Okay, I'm trying to speak naturally, guys, so you can imitate me and see how we pronounce this naturally. Eu conheço Búzios, viajei lá na minha viagem de turma ao terminar a escola em Buenos Aires. Muito bom. Viajei para lá. So the verb viajar always require the preposition a or para. Eu viajei a Búzios, eu viajei para lá. Muito bom. Ainda não conheço o Brasil. Excelente, gente. Very good comments. Cidade que eu conheço melhor é Curitiba. Muito bom. Okay. I'm gonna ask one last question so we practice. And then I'll be open to answer your questions. So if you have questions while I read this last question, think about questions that you have for me, okay? It can be connected to this class, can be connected to other questions that you have about Portuguese, or about the courses. If you're interested in one of my courses but you're not sure, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me questions. I'm gonna have some minutes to answer your question. And remember to stay until the end of the class because we are going to have a giveaway of a pronunciation class, okay? So stay there. Next question. Você pratica esportes? Quais esportes você pratica? So now in a reduced way. Você pratica esportes? Quais esportes você pratica? So here is interesting because the verb praticar, like do you practice sports? In English it's more common to say do you play sports, right? But in Portuguese we use this verb praticar in a more general way. But if you are specific, you can use different verbs. So for example, if you're talking about exercises that they're not games, it is very common to use the verb fazer. Por exemplo, eu faço yoga, eu faço escalada, eu faço caminhada. But if you're talking about games that usually, especially games that use a ball, you could use the verb jogar, which means to play. Então, por exemplo, eu jogo futebol, eu jogo tênis, eu jogo vôlei. Okay? So you should change the verb depending on the case. So how would you answer this question in Portuguese? Você pratica esportes? Quais esportes você pratica? Let me know in the comments. So this is a good question. The pronoun eu can be suppressed. It is optional, okay? Because the conjugation already tells that I'm using the pronoun eu. So the pronoun eu and nós, it has a unique conjugation, so you can suppress it. Depending on the tense, you should use it because it can be confusing. So if you have it, for instance, the imperfect tense in Portuguese, it is the same for a lot of pronouns. Eu, você, ele, ela, gente. So if you don't use the pronoun, it can be confusing. So you should use, but in present tense and past tense, it is optional because the conjugation is very unique for that pronoun. So sometimes can be suppressed, sometimes you should pronounce. Just think if it is obvious who you're talking about, who is doing the action. Muito bom. I'm gonna read some of your answers. Eu faço yoga e eu danço. Muito bom. So dançar is with the C. Cedilha with that thing below the C. Estou começando a fazer... eu não sei o que é isso. Calistenia. What is that? Curious. Estou curiosa. Exatamente. Eu pratico esportes 2 vezes por semana. Eu jogo basquete. Que legal. Eu pratico golfe e faço yoga às vezes. Muito bom. Pratico vôlei na minha escola e gosto muito desse esporte. Excelente. Você pode dizer voleibol, but I think that the most common word that we use is just volley. It's also a reduced word. Muito bom, gente. Eu faço jiu-jitsu e jogo basquete e tênis. Muito bom. Eu jogo golfe, muito legal, mas também difícil, Agora só vou pra academia, mas eu costumava fazer pole dance, pole sport. Não sei como dizer isso em português. Pole dance em português. How do you say that? I don't know. Let me know, guys. Another example of reduction here. You could say eu vou. You are correct. Eva, eu vou para a academia. But how do we pronounce it? Eu vou pra academia. Eu vou pra academia. We connect everything here. The para, as becomes like pra. Eu vou pra academia, mas eu costumava fazer pole dance e pole sport. Excelente. Muito bom, gente. Very good comments. Now I would like to use the rest of the time that we have to answer your questions. And we're going to have the giveaway in a couple of minutes, so stay with me. So while think about the questions that you have, any questions about reduction, linking, Portuguese, any questions about my courses. So let's see here. I'm just laughing of the comment of the this comment, polydance. Are you sure I'm making fun of the way we pronounce this in Brazilian Portuguese? Okay, so while you think about your questions, I can stay a few more minutes to answer any questions that you have. And before we finish our class, I just want to remind you one last time that if you were late for this class and you didn't get the announcements that I gave before, remember that you can download the material for this class, everything that you saw on my screen, you can download it for free. Just go to the website speakingbrazilian.com/desafio, join the challenge for free. You have access to a replay of this class and also the material that I prepared for this class, okay? And I want also to remind you that today is the last day of enrollment for my classes. I offer 4 classes for all levels, starting beginner level to advanced level. And I have a new group of classes starting in September, first day of September. And if you want to join this class, the enrollment is open until the end of the day today, okay? And this is the last class that I'm offering this year. I only use this class, I only offer classes every 3 or 4 months. Actually, the next one will be like 5 months from now because of I don't want to open any classes during Christmas and, all the holidays, so I'm going to wait, and the next class will be in February. So if you want to join in one of my courses, don't miss the opportunity to join now, okay? Enrollment is open to the end of the day. I offer 4 main courses, a course for beginners that is very, very complete, a pre-intermediate workshop, which is more, it's upper beginner level to help you become more conversational, to listen more to Portuguese and speak more. Then I have the grammar and conversation workshop, which is intermediate level grammar. It's a very advanced course, actually, to teach you, to give you a solid foundation in intermediate level grammar. And I have the Speaking Brazilian Academy, which is also an intermediate level program with focus on conversation practice, okay? Classes in the academy are super fun. It's just like to meet with your group of friends and talk about different topics in Brazilian Portuguese. It's only recommended for intermediate and advanced level students, okay? If you have any questions about my classes, feel free to ask me. You can sign up for any of these classes by the end of the day. So Laura is asking, I am in the academy, but if I want to improve my grammar, do I need to subscribe for the grammar and conversation? If you are in the academy and if you feel like you need to improve grammar, I recommend you do the grammar and conversation workshop. I thought you had taken this course already, Laura. The grammar and conversation workshop, it's a 3-month course, okay? So it's not a membership. So the 3 first courses, the beginner, the pre-intermediate, and the grammar course, they last 3 months, 12 weeks. And the academy is the only course that is actually a membership, so you can remain as a member for as long as you want. So Laura, if you need more help about that, email me and I'm going to explain everything. And if you did this course, Laura, you still have access to the material. It's a lifetime access, so you can review by yourself as well. Muito bom. Looking for more questions, guys. Looking for questions. So I see that Aline is answering questions. If you're not sure about your level, you can take a placement test. It's also available on my website, okay? Okay. Just going through. Guys, I love poly dancing. Maybe I do say like that. Poly dancing in Brazil. I have no idea. It makes sense though. So Roger is asking about the grave accent. So this accent is interesting because it is actually a connection between the vowel a and the preposition a. So whenever you have these two together, you write just one a and then you add a grave accent, which is the acute accent that is to the other side. And so it is only used before feminine words, right? Because the article a is a feminine. And it is only used in this case, so you have the article and the preposition. It's a more advanced topic. We cover this in one of the lessons in the academy, Roger. I think you're joining the academy. And if you don't find in the curriculum, email me and I'm going to help you find this lesson about the accents. I have one complete lesson about accents in Brazilian Portuguese, including the grave accent. Okay, guys, if you have any other questions, let me know. If you don't have questions, we are going to move on to the giveaway. Let me just check here. Aline is going to send me some names. So Aline sent me some questions that I did not see, so I'm gonna answer some of these questions, okay? I'm gonna change here too, so you guys can see me better. Hi, okay, so I have a question from Tom. What format is the course in? I have only done Pamsleur and Duolingo. My partner is from Rio and I could practice speaking, but I'm not confident. So my courses are completely different from anything you found online. It's not an app or an online program. It's a real course with real teachers and real people. So this is the main difference. So you have access to videos and PDFs and quizzes and a lot of material and exercises to do on the website by yourself. And in addition to that, we have one live class a week via Zoom with a Brazilian teacher and a small group of students, 6 to 10 students per class. So we practice Portuguese in class with video and audio, and you can ask questions. The teacher will help you with the pronunciation. And in addition to your regular class, that you can choose the best time for you, there are many times available. We also have one Q&A with me via Zoom. So it's different than this one. My YouTube lessons, I can only see your comments, right? But in our Q&As with the students, it is via Zoom, so I can see you, you can speak. It's much more personal, and I'll be able to help you much more. So completely different. I recommend you try it. Muito bom. Okay, so I have some questions here that Aline sent me. I'm gonna answer these questions, and if you have more questions, let me know in the comments, guys. So one question from Richard: will the bonus be available to purchase later? So the bonus course for now will be available for students only, but it will be available for sale later, maybe late October or November. Okay, I'll let you guys know. It's the course about verb conjugation. If you are interested, you will receive emails about this when the course is ready. Tá bem? I have another question here. Fix and Foxy is asking, I am a Mandarin native speaker. Is this course suitable for me? So my courses are suitable for speakers of any language. It is, if you are a beginner level student, it helps if you understand English, because I use English as the support language. Okay, so I use English. All my material is bilingual, so I have English and Portuguese. So if you speak, you don't have to speak English, but if you understand a little bit of English, it will help you a lot, especially in the beginning, because then later we'll speak basically Portuguese in class. So yes, it is recommended for you as well. I have many students from all over the world, including China. So I'm sure that this course will be good for you as well. Okay, another question. Okay, Alejandro is asking, are courses made specifically for English speakers? Would it be reasonable to take them if you are a native Spanish speaker? So, well, I live in the US, so that's why I use English as the second language, and also because English, I believe, is the language that that is more common around the world. So we use a little bit of English in the beginner's class. So if you understand a little bit of English, you can join the class. You will be able to follow the class easily. I have a lot of Spanish speakers in my courses, and they love the class. And especially after you finish the first course, all the other classes are just in Portuguese. So it won't make any difference, actually. It only makes a little bit of difference in the beginner's course because we use a little bit of English just to explain some things, but we also practice a lot of Portuguese in class. So I really would not worry with that. You can, of course, try, and if you change your mind, you can just cancel and ask for a refund. But I have a lot of Spanish speakers in my classes, and they love the class. So I think you would like to. So one last, okay, I think I answered this question. Okay, I think I answered all the questions that Aline sent me. Just checking your comments here. Okay, so see, some Brazilians are watching this class. Oi, pessoal, tudo bom? Okay, I'm so glad you enjoyed this class, Raul. Guys, let's move on to the giveaway. I hope I answered all your questions. If you still have questions, feel free to email Aline. Her email is school@speakingbrazilian.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have, okay? Okay, so let's move on to the giveaway. So the winner is Andrew Coco. Andrew Coco, you are the winner of the pronunciation coaching class. So, and I'm gonna give, let me see, I still have questions here that I did not answer. So Andrew, email Aline. She'll give you all the information that you need for your class, for your free class. Congratulations. So this is my gift for you. I like to give this bonus class as a gift for those who stay. I cannot give to everyone, unfortunately, but at least to one person that stayed until the end of the class. Okay, congratulations, parabéns. And just one last question that I forgot to answer is from Kyra. Kyra Wilson is asking, what are the classes what are the times and days? So it depends on the level. You'll find everything on my website. So go to speakingbrazilian.com/courses, choose the class, the course, your level, and then when you go there, you'll find all the options. And when you sign up, you can choose the best option for you. Okay, I have like many different options to work for different time zones because I have a lot of students from the US, Mexico, Europe, Colombia, so many places. So I try to open classes in different times to work for everyone. Tá bem, gente? Okay, I think that's it. If you don't have any extra questions, we are going to end our class. It was so much fun to be here with you. I hope this class was useful. It is very, very important to pay attention to these details, reduction, linking. There are so many more content to talk about this. I will prepare more content about that for you guys so we can talk more about that in the future. Ok? Beijo grande. Bom fim de semana para vocês. I'll see you again soon. Beijo. Tchau, tchau.